Well, the idea for it, this is the third biennial. So obviously it's been 6 years ago when the first one happened. We had some thinking in terms of programming that it would be good to do an exhibition that actually embraced the regional reality of artists working in the region of Waterloo and the counties that touch on that region. So it had a geographical kind of border, which we determined as being part of the region that we serve. And the first exhibition I curated myself, and it became, from the perspective that I took, very much more of a celebration and a very open kind of embracing of visual art activity in the region. So there was quite, we had something like 90 artists represented in that initial exhibition. But also we determined that it would make sense to have new curators for each iteration of the biennial. The present exhibition, which is being curated by Sally McKay, is very diverse in terms of the artists represented, but is thematically connected through the notion of landscape, and the title of the exhibition, of course, is called Woodlot.
My name's Sally McKay, and I'm an independent curator. I live in Toronto, but I grew up in the countryside near London, Ontario. So I'm pretty familiar with the southwestern Ontario landscape, and grew up outside the region that this biennial strictly covers, but I've been around and in the region off and on for my whole life, so I feel some connection to the area. I call myself a hybrid practitioner, as well as curating. I'm also an artist, and I also write, and I used to co-publish an art magazine in Toronto called Woodlot, and a lot of the experience that I gained from doing that feeds into the curatorial practice. It's fairly similar, feels like a fairly similar kind of work, and there was so much strong work. We could have curated several really great shows out of the submissions that came in. But one thing that really struck me overall from the submissions was that people seemed to be really engaged with landscape. And if not strictly landscape, then some kind of sense of relating to the natural environment or humans in relationship to wilderness or nature, and the role of art in that dynamic. So out of the submissions, that theme emerged. So yeah, so it's a show with quite a diverse spectrum, but I think that there's a lot of really interesting crosstalk and connections between the work. And when you see these different kinds of artists all together in the same space, to me, I feel like that's a really great kind of way of bringing out some of the value of art, and as it is. I actually believe that art is very key to human survival, to some extent. I think that once our basic needs are taken care of, then culture becomes kind of the next need, and so that kind of way that art is really integrated into so many people's lives, and so many different kinds of people are artists. Says something about the value of art in a larger, more societal sense. And an interesting kind of contrast for me right now is this biennial is happening in the same year that these huge festivals are happening in Europe, big glamour biennials. So there's Documenta, and there's the Munster Festival and the Venice Biennial. And those shows are, they're wonderful, but I've never personally been that motivated to go and involve myself in that kind of scale. I'm much more interested in a regional Biennial where you can kind of look at art as it's integrated into a place and into people's lives. And I keep kind of thinking about that aspect of the value of art in contrast to, say, this big famous piece that Damien Hirst just made, where he encrusted a skull with diamonds. And it's, I mean, that piece says something about the value of art that is opposite to what I think the real value of art is. That's all about the glam, the glitz, the market. And I think that those things can be attached to art, but they are really not about art where we live, how we use it on a daily basis, whether we're making art or whether we're looking at art.